Welcome. You're listening to The Aligned Self, Conversations in Creating a Conscious and Abundant Life. This is Daniel Denovi. I'll be your guide and host. Let's see just where we can take this. Well, hello, friend. Welcome back to the conversation. This episode is intended to be a little bonus episode. I recently had a conversation around manifesting, and it was with someone that I consider quite good at manifesting. Yet there is this persistent thing that comes up for a lot of people, and it's probably the hardest aspect about manifesting your reality or manifesting a reality that you desire. I'm guilty of it from time to time, and I'm sure you're guilty of it from time to time. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind you on how you focus your attention. Makes all the difference. It's all too easy to focus in on one little aspect of our life that isn't working, that we feel isn't working. Or perhaps we were presented with an aspect of a circumstance that we consider less than desirable. And understand that the law of attraction is always working. We are always in the process of attracting that which we are a vibratory match for in that moment. So the hardest part of manifesting is holding the vision of how you want it to be, telling the story of how you want it to be, and not how it's showing up today, based on our vibration of yesterday or the week before. For as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated with real estate development, construction, how someone can go into an empty lot or actually see a building that's already there and see the possibility of something else, something more magnificent than what is currently presented. So they're in the process of building. They continue to have this vision of what's possible. I always like to refer back to the Empire State Building, which construction began in 1930. It was completed in 1931. So at any point in time during the construction, you could have looked at it and said, it's not complete. It's just not happening. I don't see it. Yet, day in, day out, workers came to work on the building, build the building, because they had a vision that, yes, indeed, it could be the world's tallest building, which it was at the time. But if at any point in time you were focusing on it being incomplete, not being done, that would have been the reality. And this is what people do in their life. They focus on the incompleteness of whatever they think should happen, and it stops. The momentum stops right there. Now, for a moment, I want to point back in time to the podcast episode just before this, the case study in manifesting, being open to receive. That was the 5-Minute Friday. And in that, I talked about a letter that Erica sent me, and they had planned to go to a restaurant. They had been waiting for 2 years to go to this restaurant. That was going to be the focal point or one of the focal points of their anniversary celebration. And that had been decided before they ever left home. But on their way to the hotel where they were going to stay for their anniversary, they created the intention, the outcome of being led and being open to possibility. Now, if you think about it, the energy of having those preset plans is not in alignment with being led, responding to the moment. But when that reservation was canceled, they could have sat and muddled in the disappointment of not being able to eat at their favorite restaurant. But they stayed in the game of manifesting. They focused on the curiosity and wonder. I wonder what amazing thing will happen next. Because at this point, they were trusting that the universe had their back, that everything is always working out for you. And what followed was a series of events that just amplified the amount of fun and satisfaction that they had on their anniversary, despite the fact that their original plans did not come to fruition. And this is where you need to be a little bit unrealistic, so to speak, holding that vision of something yet unfulfilled as if it's going to happen. The seduction of a disappointment is all too real. They could have talked about how their plans to go to the restaurant had been dashed, how much they were looking forward to it, and how bad they felt. That could have been a very realistic and understandable response. And that is why this is the hardest aspect of manifesting. maintaining the vision of how you want it to be, maintaining and telling the story of how you want it to be, how amazing it's going to be. If not this, if not now, then I'm attracting something more amazing, more fantastic, more phenomenal than I can currently conceive of. I'm curious just how amazing it will be. Instead of focusing on the shortfall of money currently in your account, talk about how much you love when there's an overflow of money in your pockets and in your accounts. Talk about how much you love when you get a notification that money has been deposited in your behalf. Or how much you love and appreciate when everything comes together. Then everything just gets better and better and better. Don't you just love knowing that the universe is always conspiring on your behalf? I do. This episode is a reminder that at any given moment, you're in the process of moving towards greatness or mediocrity. You are either in the process of attracting what you want or attracting something less than desirable. All you have to do is look at, what is my current state of mind? What is my current point of attraction? How do I want it to be? What's the story that I want to tell? And if it's hard to tell that story at that given moment, just focus on what you do love and appreciate about what's going on right now. Like the example of the two different women that were in the California fires. One focused on what was lost, and the other focused on what was left after the flames. Everyone got out alive. All our pets got out. Of course, we're going to have to rebuild everything. Of course, we lost everything, but we still have our lives. We still have the possibility. We can rebuild. One last example to illustrate this point is when you're hungry. You have a desire for nutrition. Now, you can lament on the fact that your belly is empty, that you're hungry, and you have nothing to eat in front of you. Or you can experience that desire, that wanting to put food in your body as an impetus to go out and order food or create something in your kitchen. That movement or action steps is inspired action, inspired by your desire. And in the latter example, the hunger is just a cue that sets in motion a whole series of intentions, a whole series of attractions. So at any given moment, while you're in the process of fulfilling on that satisfying meal, you are in the process of manifesting. You are in the process of attracting that which you desire. But the moment you stop and sit in the idea that I'm hungry and I have nothing in my belly, I'm hungry and I have nothing, when that becomes your focus, that's your experience. So that's it. That's the bonus episode for today, for this moment. I just wanted to remind you to focus on what you want. Tell the story of how you want it to be and live in that idea. Be the person to fulfill on that story. Align your heart, your mind, and your body. That is the aligned self. And until next time, this is your friend and host, Daniel Danovi, urging you to follow your bliss. Live your life from inner signals as you live the epic adventure.